In Godzilla's 70-year history, he has starred in over 40 movies and battled aliens, apes, and everything in between, and some of his adventures simply never get old, no matter how many times you watch them. Each of Godzilla's different cinematic eras have carried their own distinct style and tone, and each has its share of masterpieces and misses. From his origins as a terrifying metaphor for nuclear devastation, there have been many different versions of Godzilla to reflect the times and the target audience. Godzilla's versatility is the main reason he's lasted so long. Every Godzilla fan has their own personal favorites in the franchise, but it's tough to deny the appeal of some of Godzilla's most famous movies. Big G's filmography is loaded with diverse options depending on your mood, ranging from downright silly comfort movies to dead serious, dramatic thrillers. Whether you're watching to see one of Godzilla's very best baddies or are looking for the nostalgia of simpler times, there is a rewatchable Godzilla adventure out there for you. These 10 movies in particular simply never get old for me. Godzilla -1, 2023. The Oscar-winning return to Godzilla's terrifying origins. Godzilla -1 is nothing short of a masterpiece, both from a technical filmmaking standpoint and for its sheer perfection in depicting Godzilla as a destructive force of nature. The effects are tremendous throughout, which elevates every appearance from Godzilla into a desperate, terrifying battle for survival. Most importantly, it has perhaps the strongest human story in the entire franchise, which makes the entire experience more enjoyable. This movie won an Academy Award for a reason, and it's worth revisiting multiple times whether you're a die-hard Godzilla stan or just someone who appreciates quality drama and movie-making. 9. Godzilla, Final Wars, 2004. The high-octane finale of the Millennium Era. Godzilla vs. Kaiser Ghidorah in Godzilla Final Wars. Nobody has ever spoken about the Oscars and Godzilla, Final Wars in the same breath, to be sure. However, that's not why it's such a rewatchable romp. Godzilla, Final Wars takes a badass, angry Godzilla and throws his entire roster of well-known enemies and allies in his path thanks to alien mind control, a Godzilla franchise classic in itself. The soundtrack is wild, the action is over the top, the acting is silly, and it's all glorious. Seeing Millennium-era-fied versions of Toho's classic monsters is a thrill on its own, but the Godzilla vs. Everybody storyline is the pièce de résistance. 8. Godzilla vs. Kong, 2021. The MonsterVerse 2 Alpha Titans go head-to-head. Godzilla fights King Kong in Godzilla vs. Kong. The MonsterVerse has done a tremendous job of balancing classic Toho monsters and story elements with new lore, new monsters, and monster-smashing fun. The strongest entry in the MonsterVerse so far is, arguably, Godzilla vs. Kong, which wholeheartedly delivered on the promise of its title. Godzilla and Kong beat the absolute heck out of each other before circumstances forced them to team up against an updated Mechagodzilla, while the human characters are basically window dressing and exposition machines. The true introduction of the Hollow Earth through the lens of Kong's discovery of the subterranean kingdom is not only visually impressive, it's exciting to ruminate on the possibilities that it could be hiding. Godzilla wins, as he should in a battle against Kong, battle axe or no battle axe, the battle in a bit of vengeance for their first clash in 1962's King Kong vs. Godzilla, but the action is fast and furious, and most importantly fun. Turn your brain off and enjoy two legends punching each other across the neon face of Hong Kong. 7. Godzilla vs. Biollante, 1989. One of Godzilla's best-written stories and two elite monster designs. Godzilla fights Biollante. Godzilla vs. Biollante boasts one of the strongest stories in the Godzilla franchise, as it mixes spy thriller elements into the tried-and-true formula of Godzilla battling a massive monster. The plant-beast form of Biollante is easily one of the coolest designs in the Godzilla franchise, and Godzilla's own Biogoji suit is among his strongest designs too. Godzilla vs. a literal plant monster isn't much of a battle, but thanks to some clever sci-fi writing in the form of anti-nuclear energy bacteria, the playing field gets leveled. It's one of the strongest movies from the beloved Heisei era, and eminently rewatchable. Destroy All Monsters, 1968. The Showa-era Avengers-style team-up. Monsters in Destroy All Monsters. Destroy All Monsters is a foundational film from the Showa era, and for good reason. A total of 11 monsters from Toho's expanded Keijuverse make an appearance in a simple yet strong story swathed in a tremendous score by legendary composer Akira Ifukube. It's got some of the strongest monster action of the era, and the final team-up against King Ghidorah is one of the most well-known and praised suitmation battles in Toho's history. Show up for the planet-wide destruction and Avengers-style team-up, stick around for the iconic Gorosaurus dropkick to take out King Ghidorah. 5. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, 1974. The origin story for Godzilla's robotic doppelganger. Mechagodzilla in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is hit and miss among hardcore Godzilla fans thanks mostly to its finale, in which Godzilla busts out a bizarre power he only used once after getting absolutely thrashed by Mechagodzilla. I, on the other hand, love it for the introduction of Mechagodzilla using a Godzilla disguise, and poor Anguirus getting his customary beatdown, the introduction of King Caesar, who I will forever wish was given more to do, and the come-from-behind victory for Godzilla. Sudden electrical powers be damned, this one is rewatchable because it's as entertaining as the Showa era gets.